Howdy everybody, Steve here, KM9G. Today we're going to do a Summits on the Air activation in Colorado, and the sun is directly in front of me, so it's hard to see y'all. So let's get the bike all packed up so we can get to the mountaintop. Patchy cases are good for just about anything. This one here happens to be bolted down to the package shelf. I'm going to use these straps to hold the 25-foot whip, but I need my radio, which is going to be the G90. That fits in there nice. Put those tools off to the side. This is my antenna support bag, and in here I have my Gable tripod, my Denko battery, my ground radials, and my coax. Even though this looks like it's at the top, there still actually is a little bit more room. So I'm going to bring my VR-N76 radio, do some APRS beaconing, and maybe even try a little 2-meter activation. So we've got the Vero N76 ready for APRS beaconing, and now I got to get this 25-foot whip attached. It's actually pretty cool that it shrinks down so small. And it actually doesn't even weigh all that much for what it is. So as with any antenna, there are always compromises. Every antenna is a compromise, and that's the compromise that I'm dealing with. I'm going to need the tripod so I don't have to worry about putting anything into the rocky soil on the summit, and I don't need to bring my throw bag. So I'm compromising by bringing less stuff, also by bringing more stuff, because that's ham radio. I have the 25-foot whip strapped to the handlebars of the bike. I've done this a couple of times before and it has worked really good. This isn't a very fast bike. Kinda sometimes if I like tuck in real good, I can get it up to 45 miles an hour, so not that big of a deal. What's more a big of a deal on this thing is the rocky terrain as I go down the service roads and up the fire roads and those kinds of things. And I just thought of this, but why not a little mesh-tastic while we're up on the mountaintop? Whew, that was a haul getting up here. I rode the bike up most of the way. We'll get you some footage on the way out, but I know when I was packing the bike, you guys were all thinking to yourself, that's a pretty heavy pack, and you are absolutely right. It is a very heavy pack. But I wanted to use the G90 today because I like the G90. Get off my back, okay? I took quite a few breaks doing the last little bit of summiting, of mountain topping. But I am up here, and one of the reasons why I took a few breaks is because I forgot the stupid antenna and had to walk back to the bike and get it. That was not fun. I'm gonna get this G90 set up. From where I'm standing, you can see some of the wildfires out in the distance. If you look real close, I'll put a picture up here for you. I'm gonna get this antenna set up. I'm gonna get this thing activated. I'm gonna have some more fun because this has already been amazing. The views have been spectacular. So let's get set up. All right, we got that APRS going. It is KM9G-12. And I'm putting this thing on the tripod. With 25 foot and the G90 tuner, we should be able to get every band. Oh, this takes forever to put up. Awesome. All right, ground radials and coax too, I guess. I guess we'll need some coax. I'm just gonna have these go in one direction because I'm tired and lazy right now. Whew. And a little lightheaded. Just toss those anywhere. All right, I'm running the SWR scanner. We got this thing on 20 meters, 25-foot whip. I have done nothing other than plug it in and turn it on. We have the antenna on the Gable tripod. We've got the radials going out over that side of the peak. And we've got the coax going out over that side of the peak. This is a lot like cheating, but that's the entire point. I'm going to turn the tuner on. I'm going to hit the tune button. And of course it tuned it. We're at 14,179. Let's go back and look at that SWR graph. And we are pretty flat from 14,104 to 14,204. And it's telling me my minimum is at 14,104 at 1:1, which is where I was when I hit the tuner. Well, no, that isn't where I was when I hit the tuner, because I was at 179. But that tuner works great. Let me turn the volume down a bit. I have always been under the impression that it is easier to tune a long antenna on a higher band than it is to tune a short antenna on a lower band. So I'm going to go up to, I don't know, let's change bands. Let's go for broke. Let's go to 160 because I can. And then I'm going to run the tuner because I can. It's struggling a bit. This is a 25-foot whip with one counterpoise. Yeah, it's struggling. It doesn't seem like it found anything. Let's check. Nope, not really. Move to 80 meters. Let's try, this is the higher side, 3.9, the higher side of 80 meters. I'm gonna hit that tuner up. A little bit of work. Can you do it? It didn't say. Let's check. Wait till we get to the high side. Oh, we got a little dip. We got a little dip at 3.903. 1.5? No, it says 1.2 to 1. Oh, it's totally usable. But it's gonna be really narrow where it does the tune. It's actually not even that bad. It's just the high side. 80 meters is a big band though. So let's go down to the bottom of 80 meters. 3.5. Man, that's a long way down there. All right, let's do that. It's 3.589 because why not? Oh, there we go. Yeah, total tune. Until it got to the high side of the band and then it couldn't tune it. It's really kind of two bands. It's like 75 meters and 80 meters all rolled into one. So 1.0 at 3.54. 60 meters? If it can tune 80, it can tune everything above 80, I bet. Yep, got it tuned. And she's saying 1.0 at 5.3. Let's do 40. Yeah, it's a quick tune. 7.2 to 7.35, 1-to-1 across the band. It says its best is 1.0 at 7.26, 7.206, but that's because that's where the chart starts. It starts out best and continues along best. And then this antenna is actually, I think, pretty close to a quarter wave on 30 meters, so we shouldn't even need the tuner here. I'm gonna turn the tuner off. I'm gonna run the scanner. Oh no, we do a little bit. That might just be the ground radial setup that I have, but that's why we have tuners. There we go. Click, the tuner clicks in, and from where we tune up to the top of the band, 1-to-1. So this thing will tune, but I mean, you guys knew that. It's a G90, it tunes everything. All right, let's get this summit on the air. Get my logbook set up. I'm using hammers. I like hammers. And I'm gonna go back to 20 because I like 20. Is the frequency in use? Is the frequency in use? Kilo Mike 9 Golf. All right, nothing heard. CQ SOTA, CQ SOTA. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf calling CQ SOTA. CQ Summit's on the air. McKenzie Butte in Colorado. Kilo Mike 9 Golf. QRZ. Whiskey 6 Alpha Alpha Mike, I got you 5-9 in Colorado. What is your park number, friend?
I got you a 5 and 9 as well. My park number is US 10402, Northern California.
10402, QSL? All right, thank you for working the park. Have a great day. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, QRZ. Whiskey Uniform 7 Hotel, 5-9 Colorado.
Okay, thanks for the 5-9. You're about a 5-3 in Seattle.
Copy the 5-3 Seattle. Thank you for the contact. 73.
73, good luck.
Park to park, go ahead.
Whiskey 7 Papa Lima in Park US 5647, Nebraska. QSL.
I got Whiskey 7 Zulu Papa Lima, QSL. Park to park station, was that Whiskey 7 Zulu Papa Lima? Park to park station, come on back.
Whiskey 7 Delta.
Alpha Echo Station, I believe that's the park to park this time. Can you give me your full call sign? Somebody doubled with you. I got Alpha Echo 0 Papa Lima in 5647 QSL. All right, great. Thank you for the contact. Can I get a signal report real quick? Copy 5-6 Nebraska. I was just there last month. It was good to work you. Thank you for the contact. 73. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, QRZ. Kilo 7 Sierra Papa Sierra 5-9 Colorado.
5-9 Idaho, and I enjoy your channel. 7-3, and thanks for activating.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you for the 5-9 from Idaho. Have yourself a fantastic day. And 73. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, QRZ. Whiskey 0 TNT. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf. I got you 5-9 Colorado.
Whiskey 7 Delta.
Whiskey 0 TNT, you just faded a little bit, but I did get you in the log. Thank you for the contact. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, QRZ. Station ending Foxtrot, please. I got Whiskey Germany 5 Foxtrot, QSL. I copy the 5-5 Oklahoma. I will give you a 5-5 Colorado in return. All right, 73, thank you for the contact. This is Kilo Mike 9 Golf, QRZ. That's a quick 6. Park to park, go ahead. Let's see what 4x zoom on the camera looks like. I can see them right over there, the wildfires. That's a long way away. The views around here are amazing though. This is one side of the mountain. And then there's the other side. I have dual 180-degree views, not really 360-degree views. Mostly because up here on the mountain, I'm shorter than the trees. Yeah, that's about as steep as it looks, too. I dropped it. I had to come back up and get it. I am in Montrose, Colorado, and this is just outside of Telluride. Behind me is the San Juan Mountains, I believe. Base camp is about 5,700 feet of elevation, and the peak, McKenzie Butte, was 8,000 and change elevation, so a little under 3,000 feet of gain between here and the top of the mountain. You can actually feel that there's not a whole lot of oxygen up here just in the first place if you're not from around here. I grew up in Maryland, so I'm from sea level. So I'm already a mile up and then another half a mile on top of being a mile up. Didn't make things any more fun, but the views were amazing. The ride out there through all the back roads, the gravel and dirt was amazing, and we got it all activated. So the 25-foot whip. Why a 25-foot whip? We already have a 17-foot whip. Why don't we need anything bigger? Well, first off, you guys have heard of the Rybakov antenna. That is a fantastic performer. I have made tons of DX contacts on a Rybakov, and I can very easily take this 25-foot whip and put a 4-to-1 at the bottom and make it into a Rybakov style of antenna. Low over the rocks. These would hurt if I fell on them. But with the G90, I don't even need to do the 4-to-1. I can just use the internal tuner in the G90. Is it going to be more efficient to have a 25-foot whip and a 4-to-1 and a tuner, or just a 25-foot whip and a tuner? I don't know. Let's debate about it in the comments down below.
Those ways before entering the highway when somebody's going to be here.
25 feet, if you do it about right, is 7.62 millimeters or so. And the 30-meter band, a quarter wave on 30 meters would be 7.5. From there, what do? That gets you resonant on 30 meters and below by 30 meters and above by shortening the whip down. So if you don't have a tuner at all, just start with a 25-foot whip, work your way from 30 meters all the way up until you have not enough room to collapse anymore, and take it from there. This is not much longer than the 17-foot whip collapsed. It is a little bit thicker. You can tell right away that there are more sections. That's probably how the whole thing works. Chameleon makes fantastic whips in the first place. There is a huge ferrule at the bottom that holds the telescoping part in place. The whole thing is made out of stainless steel, and it has a pin that goes right through the center of it, a roll pin that goes right through the center of it to hold that whip to the ferrule, to the 3/8 24 at the bottom, the stud at the bottom of the whip itself. So this is a very versatile antenna. Gets you one more band than just running a 17-foot whip, and then with a tuner it gets you whatever band you want. I was able to tune 80 all the way up, and so that was pretty good. I will leave links for all of this stuff in the description down below for you in case you want some more information or some motivated to pick one up yourself. I happen to like it. I'm probably going to substitute my 25-foot whip for my 17-foot whip going forward. I am going to try it on the Tactical Delta Loop, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel to see that when it comes out. The Tactical Delta Loop is usually a set of 17-foot whips with the M-Pass at the bottom of one side and a wire connecting the two of them together, so it gets you this Delta Loop setup. But I think I can make it work with the 25-foot whips, and I wonder if it's going to do any better. So I'll probably try, if I find some real estate and some time and some motivation, to get both of those side by side in a video and get you some maps and some contact stuff. It's really hard to compare antennas and how they perform over top of each other because of the changes in band condition minute to minute throughout the day. If I was to set it up in the morning with the 17-foot whips and run for 2 hours, and then set it up after lunch with the 25-foot whips and run for 2 hours, completely different set of band conditions. I'm sure it would work great under both, but you don't really have an idea. And if I set them up right next to each other, then they interact with each other. So you've got that problem going on too. A 25-foot whip and a 17-foot whip as a reflector and driven element, that would be pretty cool. Maybe a third 17-foot whip for a ground-mounted Yagi. Yeah, that would be pretty interesting. I'm gonna have to think on that one. Tons of potential you can do with this whip. The APRS coverage, the Vero N76 now has smart beaconing built in. So there's a quick map here of what my APRS trek looked like from base camp up to the summit. as much as DigiPeters could go. I did get a 2-meter contact from up high down into Montrose itself, but I wouldn't really consider that much of an accomplishment. He said I sounded really good, 5 watts on an HT with a super elastic signal stick, but I want to say it probably wasn't more than 10 miles. I mean, that seems like shooting fish in a barrel, just like bringing the G90 and using its tuner to tune, well, just about anything. So if you enjoyed this video, want to see more like it, make sure you're subscribed. There is a video right over here I think you'll enjoy next. Links in the description down below. Thanks for being awesome. I'll see you over there.